Welcome to the Albert Clark Show, a transformative podcast where we embark on a profound journey through the key themes of life. Join us as we delve into the rich narratives woven into the works of acclaimed author Albert Lynn Clark, known for his compelling novels Lightning and Thunder, A Miracle Love Story, An Ancient Destiny, Escape from Earth. In each episode, we will explore essential life topics such as miracles, love, hope, loss, destiny, and transformation. Through heartfelt discussions, personal stories, and insightful interviews with guests, Albert will guide us in understanding how these themes shape our lives and connect us to one another. Whether you're seeking inspiration, healing, or a deeper understanding of your own journey, this podcast is designed to resonate with your heart and mind. Tune in as we celebrate the currents of life that unite us all, illuminating the path toward love, hope, and personal growth.
A testament of faith, a beacon of light.
Hello, it's me again. Ancient Destiny is my book, one of my books. We're going to talk Volume 2. Volume 1 was the ship introduction, the problem of an asteroid coming for Earth and going to destroy all the people. And now we are, got the end of Book 1, which is ship, and now we're going to start Escape from Earth. So, what it amounts to is, in Book 2, we get all of the girls together in the ship, and we already have various different countries all over the world trying to build ships with the plans developed by the ship, basically, but with a lot of help from American industry and scientists and academics. And the United States has funded their ship, and several other countries have funded their ships and are building the ships. So we have a ship from China, we have a ship from Europe, we have ships from the United States, we have a number of ships that are being prepared and crews that are being trained. Well, but we don't know where we're going yet. We haven't found other planets we can live on. We visited Mars in Book 1, but now we've got to go out and find habitable ships. Habitable planets, where we can put humans as they go out to colonize other planets to get them off Earth before Earth is destroyed. So, we discover at the end of Book 1 that, hey, we've only got 2 years left. So now it's really panic time. It was panic time when we had 4 years left. Now suddenly it's only 2 years left, and we've spent months getting the world organized in building ships and training crews and putting together the things we're going to need to take with us on the ships. So what's left? Well, let's go find a planet. So we have the full crew of 6 women, 1 man, and we're going to go off and hunt for other planets. Now the ship is very capable because it uses anti-gravity. Acceleration is meaningless because if you're inside the ship, you don't feel the acceleration because you basically are part of the ship, just like when you're sitting on an airliner, you don't realize you're flying 600 miles an hour. You may feel a little bumpiness when you take off, but you don't really feel, and you feel gravity when you're tilting up and taking off from the ground because you're leaning back in your seat because the airplane's nose is pointed up. So you feel that, but you don't really feel the acceleration per se. Well, the ship, hey, you're level all the time because it's anti-gravity, and the ship basically is level at all the time. And so you don't really feel any acceleration whatsoever. You just watch through the windows and you see things going by faster and faster until pretty soon you're seeing planets whooping by. And the ship has fantastic sensors. It can basically, as you're cruising through space, It is looking at everything there is out there and trying to compare the sensor image to something that's habitable by Earth people, by humans. So it can, as you're flying back at high speed, just like right now our long range things like the James Webb telescope can look out and measure, the oxygen level and so forth on another planet. Ship can do that when it's flying by it faster than the speed of light. So if it detects a planet that seems to be the right size, that might have the right gravity or close to the right gravity, and if it has the right breathable air and the right temperature for humans to survive, it can slow down and say, hey, there's one. So as they cruise along, they look for different planets like that, and now they're still in the same wing of the outer galaxy as Earth is, but they're light years away. And as they're flying along, the ship says, there's one. So first thing they got to do is stop, do more intense measurements, take a good look at the ground with high resolution sensors, TV cameras basically, and see that it has water, it has seas, which means maybe they're fish or something like fish, and there's trees, but that's good. That means there's plants growing there. They may not be like Earth plants or Earth trees, but there's plants out there. So the first thing that happens is that our Karen, who is our American Indian, Karen doesn't sound very Indian, but then most Indians don't use necessarily their Indian name in public. They may have an Indian name. And matter of fact, Karen does have an Indian name. But I will not go into that because we call her Karen and she calls herself Karen. So anyway, she and Craig usually go down together, where she is sort of a bodyguard because she almost has extrasensory perception when it comes to anything that's threatening to them. And she doesn't use a gun. She uses a bow and arrow. And she could fire that bow and arrow almost as fast as you could pull a trigger on a gun. And she's accurate, deadly accurate. So anyway, the two of them go down to the planet and they can actually stand there and feel the air and breathe the air and look around with their own eyes to see what it looks like and see the grass on the ground or whatever it is like grass. And so the first planet they land on has some kind of creatures that aren't very friendly, and she shoots several of them to get them to back off, and they teleport back to the ship. So they go on to the next planet. Whoa, wait a minute, look at this planet. It's already been lived on. There's no people. But look, there's pyramids, which seem to be power pyramids like Tesla wanted to have, or like we thought maybe the Egyptian pyramids and pyramids all over the earth were maybe power pyramids that could transmit power from one place to another, and you could have airships that were electric powered. You could have cars that were electric powered. Everything was electrified power through the air. And we have people right here on Earth that are actually working with that now, where they can transmit power for a few miles to turn on lights and run motors and things like that. That's interesting. We're a long ways from having an electrified planet. But we're doing that. We're actually transmitting power just like Tesla tried to transmit power. Matter of fact, there's some thought that maybe Tesla was experimenting with transmitting power when that explosion happened in Siberia that they thought was antimatter that blew down miles and miles of trees out in the middle of nowhere in Siberia when he was trying to transmit electricity to Paris from New York. Anyway, I don't know whether that's true or not, but there was speculation along that line. Anyway, this planet seems to have that capability, although it's not turned on and there's no people. There are buildings, there are houses that have obviously been there a long, long time. But hey, maybe this is a planet we could actually have a colony ship land on and add the people and plant the crops, and so the entire crew basically comes down. Dawn doesn't usually come down because she's basically astronavigation, but we have our geologists come down looking for natural resources. We have a ship can look underground even for oil and coal and iron ore and things like that we might need to create a civilization. But it's good to have a geologist actually look at the ground to see whether it's suitable for mining. And of course, we have our zoologist with us to study animals, if there are any animals. We have our herbologist there to see whether there's actually trees that are similar to Earth, and do some soil testing and so forth to see if we can grow our own Earth-type plants there, like trees or grass or wheat or any of those things we plant, maybe flowers, I don't know. But anyway, they do some searching around, and they seem that there's no reason why it's not habitable, except there's no people. They left, went somewhere and just left it sitting here. And, for one reason or another, the buildings are going to require some repair because some of the doors are hanging from hinges. Some of the windows are broken out. But basically, it's an intact city with a big pyramid. And not, off in the distance, they can see another pyramid. So maybe they did transmit electrical power. And they land and they get in one of their vehicles that just sort of parked there. And their mechanical engineer figures out how to get it to work, and it still operates some. So there is electricity available in coming through the air, because the vehicle itself doesn't have any powertrain other than the fact that it has electrical receivers and it has an electric motor, and the steering is powered and the air conditioning is powered. Now, it's not to say it's in great shape because it's been sitting there for who knows how long, 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years. Pretty good condition considering. But we don't know how old it is, and we don't know where the people are. And we do some exploring around, and ship can't find any evidence of live people. And we don't find any vicious animals that are trying to eat us. So that's good, right? And in the ship can detect there are creatures in the water that may be fish. We're not going to go fishing just yet, but if we get a colony ship there, they can try it out. So we found one planet. So then we go on and traveling through space again with solar systems flashing by the windows as we're accelerating it over the speed of light. So we can see them out the windows as we go flying by. You just blink, there went another one, until the ship finds another one. And this one seems to be a mixture of a huge continent that seems to be all in one, and it doesn't look like anything has ever been alive there, but there are plants there, and they're growing, and there's probably animals, but we didn't find any animals. We found, the ship discovered there were some warm-blooded animals there, but we don't know anything about them, and unless we can actually see them, and they're hidden in the trees. So anyway, Karen and Craig go down first. Everything seems to be okay. So they named that, and because it's largely a mixture of a water and earth planet, and it seems very congenial, and they spent over 24 hours there. They discovered the length of the days is 30-something hours, not 24 hours like Earth, but hey, it's within reason. And because of the having a rotation of the planet against the nearest star, it provides day and night, just like Earth. That looks like a good place to be, right? So we found another planet. We'll call that one Pangea. Like originally Earth had one big continent that was all one called Pangea, and then it broke up into North America, South America, Eurasia, Australia, so forth. So we'll call this one Pangea, and it looks very, very congenial. And it tests out as the soil is great. It's more fertile than Earth, but doesn't seem to have anything bad growing in it. We can't detect anything bad on the planet, so we'll call this one Pangea, and we'll have colony ships destined to fly here. Now, it'll take a little bit longer to get there than others, but so be it. And then they find another planet, and this one is very volcanic. Otherwise, it would be okay like Earth was several million years ago. There's no dinosaurs, but it is a jungle planet interspersed with active volcanoes. And it may not be the best, but that's an idea to make it, and we'll call it Vulcan, like borrow that name from Star Trek. Anyway, it's a volcanic planet, so why not? So now we found 3 planets that we could have colony ships go to, and we look around for some more. Well, in some cases we'll have more than one colony ship go to a planet. Pangea seems really good, so we'll have 2 or 3 ships go there. We have the planet with the pyramids and the already buildings there. Might as well have 2 or 3 ships go there too. We don't have that many ships because each ship will carry 1,000 people, plus all the food and water they're going to need. Of course, water is recyclable. Food to somewhat recyclable if you want to grow vegetables on your way there. But the trips at fast and light speed are going to take less than a year, so you're not going to have much in the way of crops on your colony ships. You're going to end up using mainly what food you brought along with you, but recycling the water, including going to the bathroom and using that to recycle and drink it again, just to keep the moisture going. That's hazardous space travel when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you can't refill the tank with water. So you're going to have to reuse your water as much as you can. You can condense the sweat out of the air as you work out on the ship and develop a sweat. Hey, it'll just suck that up and recycle it, and you can drink that tomorrow. Anyway, so now we found at least 3 planets that we can send people to. Now, we have discovered one thing in training. The country of China seems to be ignoring the direction, and instead of having 6 women and per man, they're more like 6 men to a woman. And their men, instead of being very healthy, intelligent, college-type kids, they're choosing military-type people that are in their 20s. Well, that's not boding well for having a living colony, because with more men than women, you're not going to be able to have enough children to keep that colony going. And the women are chosen for their beauty, not for their intelligence, unlike the other colony ships. Now, not to say everybody on the colony ships isn't pretty good looking, because they're all very, very physically fit. There's no overweight people. There's no skinny people. They're all just average, well-fed, well-exercised people that are very, very healthy, that can survive a new colony ship on a new planet somewhere, and where they have to create everything new there. Now, they can live on the ship for a while, but you can't go on forever like that, because it's kind of cramped quarters. It's one thing when you're flying through space. It's another thing when you're trying to work out all day and you're trying to raise earth animals like cows and pigs and chickens, maybe a few dogs, I don't know. Uh, and you're putting together, you're reassembling things like bulldozers that you can use to level the ground, to mark out a clearing for houses that you build out of wood, from the wood that is actually growing on that planet already. So uh, it's kind of interesting. Uh, and basically, that is the main issue of Escape from Earth. That and their training, and Karen, who their survivalist is the number one person at training. The other scientific girls on the ship are doing their scientific things, and they're training to have uh, to create farmers and animal keepers and veterinarians, and for the animals and for the humans. Mechanical people are teaching people how to reassemble kits, where you have a bulldozer kit and it comes in parts that are packed very tightly in boxes. Now, this new metal, impervium, will last for years and years and years, and hundreds of years maybe, as a mechanical bulldozer once put together. And it's very lightweight, but it takes up space, so you pack the assembled parts as tightly as possible. And when you get to the new colony, you have to unpack everything and figure out how to put it back together. So they're taking care of that part of it. Karen, the trainer, is teaching people how to work together, act as a crew, how to fly the ship, even though they don't have any test ships to fly around in. But we know how they should work, and they're going to use a lot of artificial intelligence, not ship-type artificial intelligence, but basically an automated type ship, where it will navigate itself, where the course will be input by the ship, and the colony ships will know where to go to. They'll know at the halfway point when to start decelerating. They'll have their automatic cycles of pulling higher Gs to get more speed, or lower Gs so people are comfortable and can rest in between the high G maneuvers. And of course, moving around on the ship, again, you have to have time out to go to the bathroom or whatever. It's kind of hard to go to the bathroom when you're pulling 4 or 5 Gs and your body weighs 4 or 5 times your amount of weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds at 4 Gs, your body will weigh 400 pounds, so you'll have 50-pound arms to move around. So you have to operate most of the time at lower G. Now, it'll always be above 1 G. And again, on the planets, they will not necessarily be 1 G either, because, hey, they're not Earth. Now, they were chosen for having a similar G, but it may be 1.5 Gs. And that means that for as long as you're on that planet, which will be the rest of your life, you will weigh 1.5 times what you would on Earth. So everything, you're going to have to be physically fit just to walk around on that new planet. And I hope you like my background of Earth from space. But so we're going to go to one of these planets out here in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where. Hey, this is Escape from Earth. Now, the next book is called Generations. Now, once we land on a planet and we start building our normal houses out of wood or whatever, and we start developing natural resources and so forth, then the initial women will be having as many kids as they medically can to grow the population rapidly. And of course, everybody is busy trying to figure out food, because you didn't bring food to eat for years on the ship. You brought enough for the trip and for a little while on the planet. But you're going to have to grow your own food or kill your own animals for food once you get there. And then, of course, if you're raising a cow from a test tube, it's going to take a while for that cow to grow up to where you can eat it too, or produce milk or whatever. So you're talking years of eating off the land, basically. So Karen has taken a close look at that. The herbologist and the zoologist has looked for dangerous plants and animals that are and what's edible and what's not edible. And the ship has done its testing, looking for strange chemicals that might be there that you weren't expecting, that might be poisonous to people, or maybe they're going to be very beneficial and people live longer because of the chemicals they're finding on the new planet. We don't know. But we're trying to estimate that in advance before we send the colony ships. So in the meantime, in the book, these colony ships are launching. They're on the way. They're traveling through space at multiples of the speed of light, and I will explain how that works because we have to have a different form of propulsion. Part of it is they're using black matter as fuel for the accelerator, the nuclear-powered accelerators that will basically have some big, huge doors on the ship that will gather in dark matter, and the nuclear power will accelerate that dark matter out the back, just like rocket fuel, and push the ship faster and faster and faster. And the colonists, or our new people that we've sent off into space, haven't mastered dark energy yet. But in the next book, Generations, we're going to come across another being in other solar systems that are in space, are relatively nearby, not close, but within a few light years away. And they're using dark energy as well as dark matter, because they're more advanced in some ways than what we are. But anyway, you'll have to read the books. So the next book is called Generations. They've been there long enough to develop some roads. They've developed some energy sources. They've got cattle they're raising. They've got chickens running around. They built corrals for the cattle. They got pigs. Now the ships from the Middle East didn't bring pigs because that's against their religion to eat pork. So well, they just brought more cows and more chickens. But most of the world brought pigs and cattle and chickens and a few other small animals. But so anyway, I hope you enjoy the books. It's not like Star Wars, where it's one constant battle, where the rebels are fighting the... Anyway, there may be some battles in my books, but it's not the trend in the book. The book is not about a constant war. It's about the fact that human beings from all over the earth are working together to escape a few people, a few 10,000s of people, off into other planets to create colonies where they can live forever and ever when Earth is destroyed. So it's not about war, even though they run into some unfriendly people along the way in the book Generations. And but I'm not going to spoil that. You got to read the book. But anyway, it describes what the colonies are like after they've been there 10, 15 years. And they have their own cattle and their own pigs and their own chickens and their own wooden houses they built. And they're developing resources, and they're mining or pumping oil or mining coal and iron because you need those things for creating a new civilization. But that's in the book Generations, and I'm not going to go into that anymore. That's enough of that. But in Escape from Earth, we've mastered the ships and explain how they take off, how they fly, how they travel faster than the speed of light, and how when they finally get there, I'll give you one hint. There's when they take off from Earth, they leave the landing gear behind because that's extra weight. Why would you want to carry that with you for 6 months or a year in traveling in space? And the ship is made out of impervium, which is basically indestructible. So when you get to your new planet, you basically crash land, gently but crash land without landing gear. And so the ship will never ever take off again because there are no landing gear available to be able to use for rolling on a runway, which don't exist. So anyway, but it does have nuclear power. So until you can get your natural resources developed, you can run the electrical power from the ship to light your houses or power your battery-powered cars, or your bulldozers will be dual fuel. They can run on electricity, or when you develop petroleum, they can run on diesel fuel. After we get petroleum developed and start developing the refineries to refine the crude oil into diesel and gasoline and so forth. Anyway, enjoy the books. I hope you like them. So in the first episode, I didn't use a space background. I just used a home background, which is similar to the dining room on board the ship as my background for the video. This time I'm using a picture of Earth in the background because we left Earth. We're gone. We're not coming back. So anyway, enjoy the books and look forward to the next book, Generations, and we'll see how they do. So with that, I'll call this an end, and that's it.